Hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
Humbug. Or is Michael Caine? Humbug.
There is more of gravy than of grave about you.
I don't. It is a note that I've written down, but I'm going to just say it here. I think Michael Caine was completely miscast for this.
Yes, he was utterly miscast for this. I think we would have been well served by Patrick Stewart in the lead role.
Yes, I agree completely.
Wouldn't that have been great?
It certainly would have been.
But Kermit, what do you mean?
Oh, were you doing Patrick Stewart? Oh, right, okay.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to do Patrick Stewart. I was failing to do Patrick Stewart.
No, it was lovely. It was great. Well, folks, it's Boxing Day today.
It is Boxing Day.
I hope you've had a lovely Christmas day. I hope you've had lots and lots of presents and lovely
Indeed,
Christmas
and
dinners.
lots of cups of soup.
And lots of cups of soup. See, for you, it's been a day, but for us, it's been 2 minutes.
Yes,
you know, so
between that podcast and this one.
Yep, so you probably have no fucking idea what we're talking about because it's completely left your mind, but it's still fresh for us.
Have a cup of lentil soup, please. Aye, of course you can, Daniel.
What you asking for? What you asking for? You're getting it anyway, whether you like it or not. Can I have some soup?
Give that soup, Daniel. That'll be lovely. Oh, aye, that'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I did have soup. I know it hasn't happened yet, but I definitely did have soup.
Oh, God. Right. Have you got something on the wheel of bullshit, Dan? Spin that cheeky wheel.
I do.
Hello?
Do you want some soup? No. The last episode I asked was, what's the worst gift you've ever been given? So, in keeping with that theme, what's the worst gift you've ever given someone?
I see. Oh, that's a tough one. Because I think I'm quite good at giving gifts.
Yeah.
So I try very hard to give good gifts. Worst gift I've ever given someone. Okay, this leads me to the immediate question. Are we evaluating the objective quality of the gift or the reaction of the person receiving the gift?
A mixture of both, I would say.
Mixture of both, okay. It's not a Christmas gift, is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, it was Mother's Day, 2017, 18, 16...
One of those three.
Past, anyway. Mother's Day 2003, when I was 3.
From when I was born till now.
Yeah, Mother's Day a couple of years ago, I bought my mother a watch on Amazon. It was quite a nice one. It was what was it? The strap was like a sort of a brushed grey type colour, like sort of grey velvet. It was that colour, but it wasn't velvet. It was like leather, but it was like a little bit grey, and it was nice. And it was like had like a white face with a rose gold sort of a bezel and all this sort of stuff, and rose gold hands and digits and stuff. I was like, oh, that's quite nice. Yeah, Mum will like that. I'll get that for her. Mm-hmm. And I got the watch on Amazon, and it came in like a little watch box, and I wrapped the watch box, I think I did, in just like pink paper or whatever it was, and gave it to her, gave her the card. She opened the card and said, oh, that's nice. Opened the present, opened it, looked at it, and went, no, I won't wear that. Closed it and gave it back to me.
But are you taking the piss?
No, genuinely, no.
So you wait. So you bought a lovely gift.
Yes, I did. She opened the watch box and said, "No, I don't wear rose gold. I won't wear that." Closed it and gave it back to me.
Oh my God.
Yes, so that was a bit of an intense and strange situation.
Yeah, I don't know
took it home and put it on the side, and I was like, "Oh, that was a strange experience." It's
the worst gift you've ever given. You gave quite a nice gift. Wow. Oh, that's dreadful.
It was. I mean, feel free to like. Yeah, it was just. It was less that it was a terrible gift. It was just that it was a very strange situation.
Yeah.
He handed back the gift. I was like, oh,
you don't do that. You just pretend that it's good and then you return it later on. Do you know what I mean? You have the courtesy to lie.
Oh God, it really it was very odd indeed.
Wow.
But yeah, what's the worst gift you've ever given?
Oh, I once gave a relative of mine, quote unquote, holy water.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right.
So
You tell me the holy water was piss. Now I swear to God.
No, come on. It was spit. No, no, but I have an empty sort of bottle that says Lourdes on it, which is like a place, and it's got like sort of Catholic sort of imagery on it, and and it was like this relative's birthday. I'm not gonna dox them, and I couldn't think of anything, and I was like, yeah, she's really into her Catholicism. She's really
into that fandom where they talk about Jesus.
anytime I saw her at church, she would always. I mean, most people did, but she would take her time with it and put, do the. I don't know if you've ever seen anyone put their hands in the sort of holy water sort of bowl, and then christen themselves in the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
No, I've never seen that. Is that a thing that happens at a Catholic mass?
Yeah, and
every Sunday they dunk their hands in holy water.
Yep, and just put the do the Holy Trinity on themselves.
Is that? I mean, and how many people get colds from this every week?
Exactly.
This seems deeply unsanitary. Do they also provide hand sanitizer?
No. It's one big sort of bowl that's attached to the wall that everyone just sort of dips in, whether they've been picking their arse or their ear or whatever. Everyone just dips in. And
have your own traditions, fantastic. But good Lord, that seems deeply unsanitary.
Yeah. So I had this bottle and I was like, okay. So I went to the tap and I filled it up, and I just gave her that. She didn't know.
Does she know now?
If she listens to this, she will.
So is there every chance that she's got this little bottle sat in a cupboard in her house?
It's probably
oh yeah, that's holy water from Daniel.
It's her pride and joy.
Yeah, pride and joy. She's got a little shrine that she every now and then she sort of drips holy water around the edges of it, just to sort of say oh yeah, Jesus and stuff. I can't think of a Catholic prayer. Oh yeah, Jesus and stuff. It's actually just tap water.
It's the famous one. It's the big one. I don't actually know the intricate difference between just water and holy water.
It is blessed, I believe. I asked
my
RE teacher about this when I was in school. Yeah, it's blessed.
Versus...
By a priest, I think. What is it? Yeah, priest is the Catholic one, isn't it?
Yep. Other than the rosary or the votive candle, holy water is probably the most recognisable Christian object. Well, it's not really an object, is it? Probably because, it looks like regular old water. Water with salt is used in regular blessings, water with oil is used in baptisms, and water with ashes and wine is used to consecrate churches. Yeah, that's true,
right.
But I'm talking about just holy water that's... there's the wee tub that I have. It says Lourdes on it, yeah. That's the one I've got. I'm looking... I could probably find it somewhere. Use it as a flask. But yeah, so that's the worst I've ever given someone.
That's quite incredible. I can't think of a way you could have made that worse, unless it was piss. Then that would have been worse.
Yeah,
or
probably would have been.
Your dog's bowl or something. That'd be worse.
Yeah, or the sweat from my brow.
At least then would have put some work into it.
Yeah, and it would.
So next Christmas, Danny, I expect a bottle of sweat, please.
A bottle of sweat, please. Oh man,
yum.
Sweat doesn't. There's not enough sweat to sort of fill a bottle. Obviously, there
I sweat
is
quite a lot.
Yeah, there is, but not from your head. You couldn't scoop it from your head.
I suppose you'd have to get a squeegee and squeegee yourself.
Yeah.
And then just sort of wipe the blade of the squeegee on the lid of the neck of the bottle.
Yeah, you'd need to crush yourself like a sponge. Try and... Yeah.
I suppose you would have to crush yourself like a sponge.
It's the only way.
So there's a good gift idea for if you're a belated Christmas gift or a New Year's gift. Sweat from your brow.
Yes. if you're in
get a small squeegee and...
If you're in a deeply religious family and you want to simulate holy water, just crush yourself like a sponge and get some sweat. There you go.
I see. Well, there we go.
This is so niche, isn't it? This
such a niche joke.
Such a niche sort of horrible scenario. It's like, why didn't you just get her a card or something? You had to fill up a fake bottle of holy water and just give it to her. You could have just said, "Oh, I forgot," or something like that. No, but you had to fill up a bottle that's probably been used since childhood by someone in your family. I don't even know whose it is. It's not mine. I don't know if I found it and just sort of commandeered it. I do that a lot. I'm magpie. I'm magpie things.
I like the idea that it did originally hold holy water, and then it was used for some Catholic purpose, and then you were like, "Oh, I'll just fill this with tap water and say it's holy water."
Yeah, it's like no one's gonna know.
I think in my family I quite like to focus on food-based gifts, because everybody likes a food-based gift. Everybody has a food or a drink that they like.
Yeah.
Like whether it's beer or cheese, or like quite regularly for my granddad's birthday, I will get him some fancy cheese because he really likes cheese. So I will get him some fancy cheese and be like, "Oh, there you go, Granddad. It's like a little cheese board, or it's like a little cheese and chutney set, or whatever it might be." So yeah, that would be my recommendation after Christmas, which is of course the worst time to give a present recommendation. would be a food gift.
Well, we're giving out I say giving out. As if we're fucking.
You're giving out little cups of soup.
No, yeah, that, and we're as gifts we're giving gingerbread tins.
Oh, nice.
Of little gingerbread people. So there you go.
That's very cool. What gingerbread people are there? Are they all the same gingerbread person? Or do you have like an array of cutters?
There's no icing on them or anything like that. It's literally just like biscuits shaped like people.
That's quite nice. I quite like the taste of like gingerbread or ginger nuts dipped in a coffee. That's quite something.
It's the thin ones though. They're like, almost like, they're not wafer thin, but they're thinner. They're like, you know, the biscuits you get in hotels.
Yes, like Lotus biscuits.
Yes, that's them. Bit like that.
I've never known what they're actually made of, because they're like, if you told me they were just brown sugar that someone had just forced together by sheer force of anger, I would believe. What the fuck is in a Lotus biscuit? Because they just taste like sweetness, don't they?
That sounds like a Bob Mortimer "Would I Lie to You" scenario.
Right.
Have you ever seen Bob Mortimer and "Would I Lie to You"?
Yeah, and he makes these absurd claims like, "Oh yeah, such and such told me to crack an egg into my bar."
And they're always
so I
true.
Always have.
Oh.
Yes.
I can split an apple with my bare hands. And David Mitchell's like, "Okay, what's going on?"
Oh god.
Yeah.
Because the only way to prove that wrong would be to hand him an apple.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You can't.
No, I suppose you can't.
You just have to ask questions.
Like, "Oh, my mum did this," and then you have to be like, "All right, call her and make her tell us then."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the Tesco website for what's in a Lotus Biscoff biscuit. The unique recipe was brought to perfection with carefully selected natural ingredients. Family owned, based in its hometown. Lovely. Cup of coffee's best companion. That doesn't tell me what it tastes like. I know what they taste like, but I want to know what makes them taste like that. Flour, sugar, oil, candy sugar syrup. Oh, yum.
Holy water.
Holy water, raising agent, soya flour. So it is just sugar. They are just sugar, basically.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
The more you know, they're just sugar.
Just sugar.
More or less.
Yeah. A wee bit, a couple of additives. Dalmatian's head and sawdust. And...
Oh, yum, 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 yum.
Speaking of McDonald's, but
I ordered a McDonald's for lunch yesterday.
Oh, did you? Was it nice?
I did, yeah. It was all right, yeah. It was. It's something I do. I treat myself to every couple of months. Is I'll order a McDonald's on Uber Eats for like a working lunch.
I always find
I'll feel like a businessman when he comes to the door and he's like, "Here's your Mackies," and I'm like, "Thanks."
Thanks.
Even though I'm just in my house, I'm just getting food delivered to my house. I'm not in an office. But yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sometimes, like even when I'm doing nothing, if like my desk's organised, I feel as if I'm doing something, even though I've got fuck all to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do that exact thing with cables in the house. I have like a big box of cables, and if I ever need to feel busy but I'm not actually doing anything, it's like, right, well, I suppose I'll just get out these cables one by one and zip tie them so that they are just vaguely organised or something.
Yeah. No,
that's something I find with generally speaking, I think when I'm playing like a video game or something, it needs to occupy that work bit of my brain a bit.
Yeah.
Like, really enjoying Animal Crossing recently because I've recently got a Nintendo Switch, and I've been playing that, and it's kind of brilliant because it's like, all right, I need to catch 10 fish in the next. I need to go and catch 10 fish. Fantastic! It feels like a job, but it's also really enjoyable and fun.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
It's weird because I don't like. It depends on the game. But generally, I don't like working in games, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Like if there's that's why I could I've played Skyrim, but there's just so much to fucking do. You've got about 18 million quests, and there's not like a story to it. Like really, it's literally just quests, and you do your own thing, which most people sort of like. But it's like I like a sort of narrative guiding it. But that's just me. But fucking hell,
I know what you mean.
Anyway,
I tell you what, right? No, we're going to carry on talking about video games.
Okay.
I tell you what I do particularly enjoy in video games is a fishing minigame. Have you ever played a game with a fishing minigame? It's just always fucking brilliant. There's something so wonderful about a fishing minigame. I don't know what it is, but I fucking love a good one. There's the one in Animal Crossing, very good. The one in Minecraft is perhaps the best bit of the game.
Oh my god.
Do you know what I mean? When you're stood by a lake or the sea or something, and you're like trying to get fish out of it. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and then a fucking sea zombie comes out and kills you. It's like there's that in Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA. They're
sea zombies.
No, fishing. You fucking. Yeah, sea zombie and a wee cup of soup as well.
That's what made them into sea zombies. The cup of soup.
They had a cup of lentil soup and they went for a swim and they never returned. That's going to be an origin story someday of a villain.
That's your supervillain origin story. You had a cup of soup and you decided this is one cup of soup too many.
No,
and then you just disappeared into the mists.
Listen, the amount of fucking family trauma that I've fucking dealt with over the years with fucking cups of soup and Satan and Jesus. It's like there's going to be a few fucking stories that we can use to better effect if I want a tragic backstory for this damaged cynic. But am I free to introduce the film that we're talking about?
Yeah, I've talked about fishing mini games. We're good to go now.
We are talking about A Muppet's Christmas Carol. And it is written by Jerry Jewell, and it's obviously based on the book by Charles Dickens. It was directed by Brian Henson, and it is starring Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, My Cocaine, and Frank Oz. So there you go.
Indeed. Do you have an opening statement for this film, Dan?
I do. A humorous retelling of the classic story, a warning to cold hearts and the indifferent that it only brings loneliness. It's so fucking weird how many versions of this story there are. Like, really, it's really weird.
Yeah. Right, a Christmas Carol is the utter epitome of all Christmas stories, and somehow it is only improved by adding Muppets to the mix. This is perhaps one of my favourite films ever. I really love this film.
Wow.
It's dead good.
Well, there you go. I will admit, first off, the classic Disney title crawl was a shameless bit of nostalgia that I had. I like that for some reason. Don't know why. Just do. So that was a good start.
I know exactly what you mean. I never watched The Muppets when I was a kid. I never really got into Michael Caine or The Muppets or A Christmas Carol as a kid. But there's something about this film that I find bizarrely spellbinding. It's just genuinely a really good movie.
Yeah.
I think that A Christmas Carol is a really good book, generally speaking, and I really like a lot of the different interpretations of it, but this is by far my favourite one. I think The Muppets just add an air of brilliant levity to anything they do.
Yeah.
Have you heard that they've for a while now, Muppets have been saying that people have been saying that the Muppets should host the Oscars?
I think that'd be quite funny.
Precisely, it'd be great.
That would be quite
because
funny.
every year they find somebody to host the Oscars, and then every year something horrific is unveiled about them, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, right, okay. And so, but why not use the Muppets? Because what they do is essentially what the Oscars is. That's what the Muppet Show is. It's them hosting a show.
Yeah, that's
true. Do you know
true.
what I mean?
And there's
Just
not
having Kermit come on and be like, oh, such and such and such. Meh.
When was the last time there was a controversy with the fucking Muppets? Do you know what I mean? Every single Oscar season, there's always this horrible subtext underneath it all. It's like, oh, look, look, there they are. Look, it's like someone's done something, and you can't really enjoy it or appreciate it because some fucking arsehole has done something. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be someone who just can't be a decent human being for once. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but with the Muppets, I think you're right. It's like you're not going to be angry at Kermit or anything like that.
Exactly.
But
have Kermit be like comparing it, then he introduces different Muppets to announce the winner of different awards.
Yeah.
So like, and here is Miss Piggy to announce the winner of the I don't even remember some of the awards. Give me an award, quick.
Best actor.
Here is Miss Piggy to announce Best Actor, and she'd come out and be like, the Best Actor is me, but not really. It's actually whoever. Do you know what I mean? Why would you not do that? Why would you not have? Okay, I'm getting angry about this now. Why have we not had the Muppets hosting the Oscars for all this time?
Okay, let's fast forward 10 years, right, to 2030. I'm on IMDb. I'm looking at Lewis Brindley's IMDb page. He's got numerous acting credits, one directing credit. The Oscars 2029, and it's just the Muppets. Everyone was against it, but he fought and he made it happen.
And then everybody hated it.
The only food there were little cups of soup given out by some strange Scottish woman. Do you want a wee cup of soup, Lady Gaga? There you go, that'll calm you down.
She's got this image of like Margot Robbie or something accepting a small cup of soup and just being like, oh, thank you. I'm not sure what to do with this.
I don't really like a lentil. What did you fucking say?
You're going to take that... Sorry, I was doing an Australian accent for your mum then. You're going to take that cup of soup, Margot Robbie, and you're going to fucking drink that cup of soup. I just like to imagine... like your mother, as she took you into the corridor, Danny, when you were younger, taking out like Leonardo DiCaprio into the corridor, like, look, Leonardo DiCaprio, you're going to get back in there, you're going to finish that soup, and you're going to put a fucking smile on your face while you're doing it. Oh God!
She brings my auntie, and she gives everyone post-it notes. And she speaks to everyone. You're going to write your thoughts down, and you're going to show them that you give a shit, okay? Fucking Jack Nicholson's going, another day, another post-it note, fucking... I don't know where I was going with that, but that I thought, oh, I can vaguely do a Jack Nicholson impression. I'll create a hilarious skit for all the people listening. And then I was like, all right, okay, just give up.
I have to write a skit while performing it. Fuck.
Oh no, I don't know what I'm saying. I will retreat to self-deprecation. It's the only safe haven for someone like myself.
Oh, God. Right, anyway, Muppet Christmas Carol. Have we got some CRQs, some CRSs, some CR, anything else?
Yes. Are some Muppet animals used for meat?
Well, and here we go into the world of questions that this film presents. I think that are some Muppets... No, I think they're felt all the way through.
Yeah, no, but do you think the people of this universe eat felt?
Maybe they do. Maybe it's like, yeah, maybe.
Are there wild Muppets? Or are they
that's the question, because there are Muppet horses at the start.
Yeah.
Were there also, before the domestication of horses, were there also wild Muppet horses?
That's true. I don't know.
And the vegetables on that greengrocer's cart were speaking, which makes a vegan diet much more horrific.
I was being
like that thing you do where you boil, exactly, like boiling a lobster, and you're like, oh no, it can't feel it. It's fine. It can't feel it. It's fine. But like, oh no, you're boiling a cabbage and it's screaming at you. you know what I mean? While you're chopping up an onion on a carrot on the chopping board, it's going, "Oh my god, what are you doing to me?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a bit fucked.
It would be horrific, is what it would be.
Yeah, I probably... But maybe that's just part and parcel of this world. Maybe that's just what happens.
Maybe.
You know?
And that's just accepted. This extreme cruelty is just accepted. I mean, it was Victorian Britain, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing about this story, right? Regardless of what version it is, it's always portrayed as that Scrooge is like the exception to the rule. It's fucking Victorian London. It's like they were sending kids up fucking chimneys. Are you kidding on? And this is the only miserable guy who, because he's a moneylender, it's like everyone was an arsehole. That was the entire point. It's like everyone was dressed in horrible clothes. That was the entire point of the society, to be sort of upper class fucking arseholes to everyone that wasn't.
Maybe in 2120 we'll have like a retelling of the classic Christmas Carol story.
Yeah.
It'll be like Jeff Bezos instead of Ebenezer Scrooge.
I've literally wrote that down. I have wrote that down. I'll prove it the next time. I'll take a picture of it. I've wrote down they should do this in modern day for Jeff Bezos.
Thing is, if they did it in modern day for Jeff Bezos, it would be like Amazon Prime would produce it, and then they would somehow spin it so that working yourself to death is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the Jeff Bezos mentality, is just manipulate the sort of the consumers that you're so the overlord of. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And that brings me to my point. Do you want to hear my dystopian version of this story that I want made?
I would love to.
Okay, so there's this guy called Ebenezer Scrooge, right? And
right?
He's so happy. He's the happiest, kindest, most generous guy about, and everyone else who is miserable is like, oh god, look how happy he is. And then one day it's the annual hate week, and his partner is living a very happy life, and he gets a call from him, and it's like, you need to change your ways, and you need to be a grumpy bastard like the rest of us. And 3 ghosts come, and they show him how being happy is really shit. And then he changes his ways, and he's like, you boy, what day is it? It's hate day, sir. Good, fuck you. Right. And then the film ends.
I've got to say, that doesn't sound like a good film.
How not?
Because what's the motivation for Scrooge to... I don't understand how you would prove that hate is a...
Social pressure.
Well, yeah, but Scrooge doesn't become happy through social pressure. Scrooge realises that happiness is that... No, he realises that happiness will lead to a better outcome for his own life and the lives of those around him. And he's like, okay, yeah, I've lost my way along the way. I'm going to go back to being kind and generous.
It sounds like social pressure.
That's not social pressure. That's Scrooge learning a lesson about the meaning of happiness.
Yeah, but he couldn't do that without the perspective of people sort of laughing that he's dead and saying, oh, what did he do with his money and all that, and the prospect of him dying. Yeah,
but then I think if it was...
There is an element of... So I'm not saying that it's like a gang of bullies showed up and cornered him and was like, haha, you're miserable, you should be happy like us. It's like there was an element of like everyone is behaving this way, and it seems to be making them behave desirably, so maybe I should do the same. It's like,
yeah, okay.
Maybe social pressure's the wrong word. Maybe social suggestivity or sorry, don't want to get
someone
all
taking their cues from society. I suppose. Don't want to lose you in all of this technical mumbo jumbo. Sorry, guys, but yeah, social connectivity.
Yeah, I'll calm down I'll cool down the jargon. Sorry. Yeah, but
I have a question, a bit less of a serious one.
Go on.
How come the vegetables can speak English, but Beaker cannot?
That's a good question.
Why is Beaker forever doomed to just go me?
Maybe that is... I don't know. Maybe it's a
Does
rich...
he have some kind of speech impediment?
Maybe Victorian London in this world is a rich, cultural, diverse place. With
Perhaps.
lots of people.
And that's a different language that we don't understand.
Yeah, maybe there are Muppets from different nations.
So maybe Beaker's acting as like an interpreter.
Maybe, yeah.
In this film. Maybe.
Who knows?
But then the Swedish chef doesn't speak Swedish.
That's true. Well, maybe prefers English.
Or maybe this is what Swedish sounds like in the Muppets universe.
Maybe it's a film.
Maybe it is. I thought... Sorry, Danny, I thought this was a documentary. What the hell are you talking about?
Instead of David Attenborough it's fucking, I don't know, someone who's completely unequipped to do it, just like Michael Caine.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Why does the Muppet that works with Beaker, why does he have glasses but no eyes? That seems a bit of a strange decision to be like, oh, he's got glasses but no eyes.
I know. It's a marketing
Unless
scheme.
it's like a Muppet cybernetic enhancement, and those are his eyes.
It's a marketing scheme for Specsavers.
For Specsavers.
We're so good you don't need eyes.
Our glasses are so good they can actually make the blind see again.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That doesn't sound true, Specsavers. Well, it is.
Well, it is.
Look at this green bloke, eh?
Prove it. Prove we're wrong. Can you see? Yes. See?
Do the Muppets know that they are Muppets?
Yeah.
No, but my point is, does Kermit know that he's a Muppet, or does Kermit just think he's a frog?
I think he thinks he's both.
You think he's both?
Maybe, because I think he thinks that he probably thinks, yes, I'm a Muppet because we host a show called The Muppets. So he knows that he's hosting a show called The Muppets, so maybe he thinks he's a Muppet that's also a frog, or shaped like a frog. I don't know. But
the thing I always take from this film is that what we're watching is a play produced by The Muppet Show. That's the vibe, the thing I always take away from it. Things like how Sam the Eagle says, like, it is the American way, the British way. And, like, it's as though he's just forgotten his lines as part of the play.
Yeah.
And so what's his name?
Gonzo.
Gonzo? Who plays Charles Dickens?
Yeah, Gonzo, yeah.
Gonzo comes on, he's like, no, Sam, this is your line.
No, it's that makes it more endearing, I think, because when it's played all sort of serious, and it's like, Ebenezer Scrooge was a miserable man. It's like, if there's a bit of comic relief, I often think that comedy can help get messages across far better than
100%,
serious stuff, you know?
God, yeah. I think, to be honest with you, I think that might be one of the reasons why Brooklyn Nine-Nine has done so well at conveying serious issues.
Yeah.
Is because it's showing, okay, well, this is not just a show about serious things. It's a show that is a sitcom, and we're having fun and we're enjoying ourselves, but also these things are also important and need to be talked about. I think that's one of the reasons that does so well.
Definitely. One thing I will say is, why is marriage heralded as like the only sign of like one being happy in these stories?
Yeah, I don't quite understand that one, to be honest. It's a bit of a weird one.
They're not married. What? He clearly doesn't love her.
I think while marriage, it's like, don't get me wrong, marriage has made me extremely happy.
Yeah.
But I think it might not be the right choice for everybody. And if it's not the right choice for you, yeah, great, that's great for you. But it is a bit strange that in so many of these films, marriage is preached as the be-all and end-all.
Yeah.
Because I think if you view marriage as the end of a journey, well, what kind of a viewpoint is that?
Yeah.
What are you going to do after you get married? Just sit in a chair for 50 years?
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm assuming your love for Chloe wasn't like contingent on that you got married.
No.
To me, it's like, well, I do love you, but as long as we're getting married, and if we're not, then you can go away. Simple as.
Yes, that was exactly what I said to her in that exact voice as well. Yeah.
In that British 1930s British radio presenter voice. What is wrong with having a cheap funeral?
Chloe, darling, the aliens have come from space. And also, let's get married.
Moon men! The Daleks have invaded London. And I'm still announcing things. I still have a job. They're pretty reasonable to me.
That reminds me of that Mitchell and Webb sketch where they're like news presenters or something, and they're sat at a desk and saying, breaking news, aliens have invaded Earth. They are currently landing in the middle of London, and then they talk a bit about that, and then say, breaking news, the TV station that we are currently filming in has been breached by the aliens. Breaking news, the aliens have just broken through the door into the studio, and you can hear in the background, as the aliens are like talking and stuff. Oh.
No, that's good. That's good humour.
Sorry, you were saying something and I interrupted you talking about David Mitchell.
Why is having a cheap funeral seen as like a bad thing?
Oh God, that's another thing that really gets me.
My funeral's going to be cheap. I'm not going to have any of this fucking... There's not going to be a hearse. There's not going to be a big... a layout of food or anything like that. It's like, I'm dead. Don't give a shit.
I know exactly what you mean. It like, burn me, and then if people want to celebrate my life, there'll probably be a pub down the road. Do you know what I mean? I don't just burn me and either stick me in the ground or chuck me off a pier or do you know what I mean? I don't understand why. To be honest, it's kind of disgusting. The incredible expense that people go to for funerals.
Yes.
Like I think it's quite easy nowadays to spend like up to 10 grand on a funeral. And there are sort of quite predatory funeral directors out there that say stuff like, oh, well, I'm sure this is the casket they would have wanted. Yet we know it's a bit more expensive, but this is what they would have wanted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's just disgusting behaviour.
And not just predatory funeral directors. I know people, right, whose day outs consist of going to funerals. These fucking people that go to funerals and will review it based on what the food is and what's
Christ.
been. Yeah, I'm serious. It's like, oh, I went to Bobby Mitchell's funeral the other week. It wasn't that good. He didn't have food out or anything like that. It was a bit poor, to be honest. And like, this is conversation that's just like, oh really? Oh, that's a shame. Aye, because he was squared away, wasn't he, Bobby? He had a bit of money, didn't he? It's like, yes, because of course he's going to spend it on your fucking dinner, you stupid prick. You know what I mean?
That is just a very... I'm utterly astounded to hear that. That doesn't make any sense. So are there people that deliberately go out of their way to attend funerals in this sense?
Yeah, it's become like a sort of comedy thing in Scotland. There's a show that I talk about a lot called Still Game, and the two old characters in it, they're pensioners, and they constantly talk about, oh, that funeral was shite, there was no steak pie or anything. And it's a stereotype that old people go to funerals for like the food, and it's a stereotype that is and isn't true, because I do know people that only go to funerals for food, and it's like really fucking shameless the way they go on about it. But like, my funeral will be nothing like that. I'll be dead. I'll get burned. I don't even want an urn. I just want to be gotten rid of. Donate all my organs. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm dead. I don't give a shit. There'll be no expenses paid for. There'll be no steak pie. There'll be no hearse or anything like that. Any of that rubbish. Dead. Done.
I know precisely what you mean, and that just sprung something to mind. When you and I were filming for 4 O'Clock Club, there was one episode in which there was like a funeral. Yeah. Do you remember this? We were running around the church and you were like, you thought the funeral directors were vampires or something.
Yeah.
And I remember the company that brought the horses along that were drawing the hearse with this fake coffin in it. Well, I say fake coffin. I imagine it was a real coffin just without anybody in it. The bloke that bought the horses like made a point of telling our first assistant director, these horses have worked on Pirates of the Caribbean. And I just remember being told that and thinking, what a bizarre thing to say. What a confusing, strange thing to say.
Yeah, a film about ships. Yeah, these horses were there. I've got to say, that episode is probably up there with one of my favourite episodes of the 4 O'Clock Club.
I think it is my favourite episode. I really adored filming that. It was great.
Because, okay, that scene where you and Akai are in the fucking place, you're searching about like a lunatic for a coffin to take a picture of to prove that you were. Oh, I can't remember the exact plot line. But
Owen doesn't want to do PE or doesn't want to do.
Yeah, so you lie and say that you're at a funeral and you want a picture with the coffin.
Yeah, okay. The PE teacher sort of bring me a selfie with the coffin then.
It's pretty dark when you think about it, right? And it was
really dark.
It's like you could see if we were like a bit more like that, we could have like an R-rated comedy show, and the reactions between you and Akai, holy shit. I'm actually picturing it now and I'm still fucking cracking up thinking about it. You run up to Akai and go, there isn't a coffin. What sort of funeral is this? You're so angry that there isn't a coffin. And Polly's behind and Akai's like, shh, hello Polly.
Oh, I remember from that day we were doing this bit where I'm like, where they sort of in the funeral scenes, they sort of the coffin is on like a little thing that sort of rolls back and the curtain closes for it to be cremated.
Yeah.
And then there was this bit where I was like, at that point I was supposed to jump up and sort of be like, oh, I need to take a picture of the coffin. I need to take a picture of the coffin. And Akai was supposed to pull me back down into my seat.
Yeah.
And we sort of both looked at each other and went, right, let's just like go for this. Let's just really go for it. So he like elbowed me in the stomach and just like held me down in the seat, and I was like viciously struggling in this pew. And it was just all a bit ridiculous, but it was such a good episode, that one. What was it? It was another one of my favourite bits from that episode was I think Owen and Akai, Owen and Nero asked Eli to bring suitable clothes to attend a funeral or something, and you bought one miniskirt. It was just in like a carrier bag, and it just really made me chuckle at the time.
It was so well coordinated because you're running about like a lunatic looking for a coffin. Akai's just been sort of caught by Polly as to why he's there, and then to top it all off, Eli appears carrying the coffin, and just when any explanation is just waved away with a. It's honestly, folks, like it's 4 O'Clock Club is like a kid show, and it's like it's not what we normally do on here. But that episode, it's called Funeral, isn't it?
I believe it is, yeah.
If you're wanting a laugh, get pissed and watch it. It's really, really good. It's actually really quite funny.
Yeah, all of that. I remember reading the script and thinking it was like, oh, this is funny. It's just another episode of 4 O'Clock Club sort of thing. And then like we filmed those scenes that are the wake at Polly's house thereafter, and it's just like Mr. Nunn knocks on the door, and like he's like, oh yeah, pull my other leg. It's got bells on it, and he shakes his leg to the tune of the funeral march, and he's like going ring 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 ring, as though it's like the funeral march, but bells on his leg. Oh, it's just really fucking surreal.
So some of the stuff on that show is like, how did they get away with that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I remember like one episode I was called a jock by Mr. Nunn. He was like, jog on, jock. I was like, holy shit.
And I remember in the first season we did, there was like a conversation in the script between the older generation before us that said they were talking about like a water park, and they said, oh yeah, such and such he carked it so bad that they had to scrape him out of the log flume. And I remember thinking, fucking hell!
Yeah.
It's like a child in this situation has died on the log flume, a water park, to the degree that they had to scrape him out.
Yeah.
And that's just fine on kids' TV. It got through the BBC censor board or whatever, so it must be fine.
And there was a plot line that was dropped where like a soldier's PTSD was triggered. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that one. No, I don't remember that.
Oh, that was it was like Nunn was on a date with someone, and there was this soldier there as well, and like trauma from the war was like trigger, and they were actually going to do that, and then like the BBC had to step in and say, no, you can't fucking do that.
No, I don't remember that at all.
I mean,
God.
just Nunn as a character. It's like, it's bad enough that they've got female commentators on the TV as well. It's like, what?
Yeah. Mr. Nunn is just a massive...
He's a misogynistic fucking dick. And like, I mean, the joke is sort of played on him, so I sort of get it, but like, holy God, that's bad.
Yeah.
And it's on a CBBC show. Oh, man. Oh, God. But yeah.
Now let's talk more about things that nobody else was there for.
Do you have a favourite version of this story? Is it this?
I think it probably is this. Yeah, I think I like the book and I like this. Those are my sort of top two, I suppose. Have you got a favourite version of this story?
I like the Jim Carrey version. Because it's really scary.
I do like a bit of Jim Carrey. He's a bit of a big oof nowadays, but yeah.
Yeah, it's really scary, the Jim Carrey version. Like, it really freaked me out as a kid, and I think that's like, I like the idea that Scrooge isn't like swayed by like having his heart changed, that he's just terrified. He's just terrified. Okay, I'll be good, I swear. I think that's it's a much more cynical way, but it's like, I mean, if you're shown three fucking spirits of like, you know, you're probably going to just do what they say to get away from them. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do agree with you. I think the thing that for me hammers at home about this specific irritation, this specific iteration, is that the spirit's job is done, basically. By the time that the third spirit comes around, he shows him one thing, and Scrooge is like, oh, okay, I'll be nice, I promise. And then the third spirit just keeps going, keeps showing him increasingly horrific things, to the point where it's just like, this is where you die, alone. And it's like, oh my God. And then Ebenezer Scrooge is fucking scared out of his mind. But the spirit's job is done, and it just keeps going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's horrifying in a weird way.
I mean, see the Jim Carrey version, you know, the Ghost of Christmas Present? He just sort of disappears in this version and vanishes and sort of fades away. In the Jim Carrey version, his flesh falls off and becomes a laughing skeleton that eventually crumbles to dust. And then the third spirit sort of manifests itself from Jim Carrey's shadow and stares at us for 5 minutes straight, just utter silence, until Jim Carrey says, "My time is precious," or something like that, and jumps out at you, scaring the life out, and you fucking shite. And then it's like a fucking 20-minute sequence of like Jim Carrey being shown this horrific stuff and getting chased by this figure of death, and then like clinging on to like the mud before he falls into like a bottomless pit, which has his grave at the end of it. It's like horrible.
Okay, that does sound quite horrifying.
It's
yeah,
horrifying.
I do think that Christmas Carol is ripe for being made a really horrible horror movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've always thought, and I've never seen the Jim Carrey version, but it sounds like they kind of did it.
Definitely. I mean, Gary Oldman and Colin Firth are in it, which is just completely out of left field.
In the Jim Carrey one?
Yeah. It's animated, so but
Yeah.
it's their faces, if you know what I mean. So you could see that's clearly just a chubbier Colin Firth, and that's clearly Gary Oldman with less hair. Do you know what I mean? And Jim Carrey's looks like the Count Olaf, but like sort of really.
I think I've seen he's like a bizarre sort of, almost like a twisted version of Punch from Punch and Judy.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Definitely. I've got to say, the singing doesn't do it for me.
No?
No, that's just me though. I just don't really
like singing in general in films. I'm not as much a fan of, but I think in this one, all of the songs are kind of bops. I'm like, they're bopping along on the sofa, and it's like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
And then there's that one that I don't like, where Scrooge is like, oh, I love this lady, and then she was like, God, Ebenezer, you're a dick. Then I was like, oh no, yeah, you're right. There was that one that I didn't like very much.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are kind of bops in a weird way, I think.
Yeah, I agree, but not really. Michael Caine can sing a wee bit.
Surprisingly, yes, he can.
He's got a nice wee voice.
It is utterly bizarre that they cast Michael Caine in this.
I know, he doesn't
every time
fit.
we watched, every time we watched this with the family, my dad always says that there's this interview where Michael Caine was he said that he he alternates film, or at least he did when he was doing like a lot of stuff, and he would alternate between films that he thought would be good and films that would pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And every time I watch this, I think, I wonder which one of those two this is.
Did this make him a lot of money? Was it?
I would imagine they paid him quite a lot. Yeah.
I know, but was it a high-grossing film?
Well, I will find out. Don't you worry. Grossing, 27.3 million.
And what was the budget though?
Bear with me.
Because there was the
production. Here we go. It does not say.
Yeah,
strangely.
They're less and less likely to show the budget nowadays, which is annoying.
Yeah, honestly.
There's a film that's out called Anna.
Right.
And it made like 3 million. And it was like...
Oh, it was 12 million Muppet Christmas Carol budget.
Oh, 12 million.
And it made 27 million at the box office.
I mean, it's not bad. No, but there was a film called Anna, and its budget was like 50 million, and it made like 3 million back.
Oy, that's not good, is it?
But I think that had to do with COVID as well.
Oh, so, yeah, I suppose that's a good point.
So they put it. I think they put it on Netflix, but I'm not sure.
I suppose. We've spoken about this before. If you're going to have a high budget film, spend it on the film, not the actors and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I suppose the greatest example of this is Get Out. Like, we've talked about this at length before, but they filmed it in like a month.
Yeah.
With not that much money, really, considering how amazing the film is. Get Out budget. Get Out's budget was $4.5 million, and it made $255 million worldwide.
There you go.
They filmed this literally. They filmed it in about 28 or 29 days or something absurd like that.
It's fucking incredible. Same with films like Joker. Joker had like 60 million, and it made like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, 60 million's a lot of fucking money, but like $1 billion. No, I love success stories like that where it's just a crack team of really talented, hard-working people that come together to make something with not a lot of just the will to do it, and then they get a lot of return for it, which is good.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Have we got any more CRQs for this film?
No, I think I'm out of notes.
Indeed, I think I am also out of notes. Have you got a closing statement then, Chuck?
I do indeed. It was alright. I suppose, don't be a miserable cunt.
I see. My personal favourite retelling of my personal favourite Christmas story. This was perhaps a podcast more for me than for anybody else, but I do quite like this film. If you haven't watched it, do.
Yeah.
This is our last podcast of 2020, isn't it?
I know.
How absurd is that? We'll be released Boxing Day 2020, and then we're taking a brief Christmas break as we do, and then we're back. Oh, I haven't looked at the calendar. I know we're back on the working week of the 4th, but I don't know when that'll be the next release. It'll be Friday the 8th of January will be our next episode.
And it will be resuming Doctor Who.
Yep.
I think the next episode is The Age of Steel. It's finishing the Cyberman 2-parter.
I believe it is. And what we're doing on that Sunday, Chuck?
Oh, you ready? The Mandalorian, seasons 1 and 2.
Bloody hell! I'm quite excited to actually watch that because
it's really good.
I've always stayed. I haven't deliberately stayed away from Star Wars. That's a lie. But like, I've watched a few of the films because they're always on at Christmas and all that sort of stuff, and I've always thought, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I never really have liked it. But The Mandalorian, everybody seems to love it.
It's really,
even people
really good.
that have always seemed a bit meh about Star Wars, they seem to really love it. So I look forward to engaging with it.
I can say it's a very, very well made show. And
my personal favourite tidbit, which I'm aware of without even watching the film, Pedro Pascal, I think is the lead actor.
Yeah.
He when he's doing voice recording for The Mandalorian, and it's a scene in which he was holding the Baby Yoda doll that they filmed with, when he's in like an ADR booth or a voice recording booth, he'll just hold a pillow in the same position.
Oh, really?
Because there's like pictures of him holding a pillow and like sort of posing as though he's holding a blaster or whatever. Yeah.
Because they're like rare points where he's like in it. But no, he's a fantastic actor. He's in Game of Thrones. He's in Narcos.
He's in Kingsman 2.
Yes, that's right. No, he's fantastic. But there you go. So I'll say the Christmas sort of Merry Christmas, Happy New Year stuff at the end. We'll do some shilling and then we'll do that.
Yeah. Okie.
I am on Insta. I was saying it to them. I'm not cutting this bit out. I'm on Instagram at Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I'm on Twitter at LewisBrindley4, and I have a Facebook page called Lewis Brindley. And also the show has a Facebook page called Shouting Into the Void, where we post news and updates and stuff about episodes and stuff. So go and check that out. Take a look, follow and like and all that good stuff. Thank you.
Definitely. We are on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we have a YouTube channel, we're on Deezer, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Amazon Podcasts. We also have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all would be greatly appreciated. We also have Patreon, and we want to thank our wonderful patrons, Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Sophie.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Adichia.
Thank you.
Richard.
Thank you.
And Natalie.
Baby.
Yeah, we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because we're obviously taking a break. You'll be hearing this before, but your support means the absolute world to us, and I can't say any more than that, because it's just I struggle to put it into words. It's just amazing.
No, yeah. You enable us to make this podcast, which is something we utterly love doing. And it means the absolute world that not only do you enable us to do this, but that you are supportive of what we do. And you're there on the Discord as a little community, and it's really wonderful. So thank you to every single one of our patrons that has I was going to say patronised us. That's not the right word. has subscribed to us on Patreon. It means the absolute world. In the new year, we hope to be doing some more bits and bobs with Patreon. We're always trying to find new ways to do interesting new things. So if you would like to join our patrons, you can go to patreon.com/shoutingintothevoid.
Definitely. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with a wonderful company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis has got some amazing things to say about them, all of which are true.
Indeed. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a company run by my amazing wife, in which she crochets things, and she's really good at it. She posts about it on Instagram at Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and the posts are bellissimo, so it's worth going and checking out. She sells things, and they're really beautiful, so go and take a look, see what you think. Thank you very much. At Number 12 Crochet Avenue. It's those words, it's not numbers, it's not punctuation, it's not emojis, it's them letters. So go and have a look.
Definitely. Well, Jesus.
Indeed.
Wow.
2020 has certainly been a big year for us. We've sort of gone. We've had quite a lot of success in 2020. Like looking at the graphs and stuff that I keep, we have like gone up and stuff. It's been a good year for the podcast.
It certainly has.
It's been a crazy year in every other respect.
I know,
but
it's been. We recognise it's been a tough year for a lot of folks. And if we've helped you in any way, even in a small way, that just means the world to us.
It does indeed, yeah.
Yeah, that's all we can really say. Just we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and just stay safe and just keep on keeping
stay safe,
on.
Stay hydrated, be silly, be kind, have a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year.
Definitely, and we'll hopefully see.
And remember to get yourself a little cup of lentil soup.
What is it? What is it? Winston Churchill used to say. It was like KBO, wasn't it?
Keep buggering on.
That's it. Keep buggering on, folks. With lentil soup.
With lentil soup, yes. Thank you very much for listening in 2020. We'll see you in 2021.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.